Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how I do mermaid braids on my client. And so yeah guys, I just started out with a fresh head of washed and blow dried hair. And now I'm just beginning to take a section and I'm getting ready to show you guys how I do the first braid. And if you guys want an even more detailed view on how I do my knotless braids and how I start them, I have a lot of different videos up on my channel where I show you guys how I do my knotless braids. I also have videos on how to do, if you braid underhand or overhand, you can do this style as well. So just check those videos out if you guys need, any, more in-depth tutorials on those. So I'm basically just starting off. I just divided that section into 3 parts and I added some jam around it just to get all the hairs in place. And then I'm just taking my pre-stretched braiding hair and I'm just adding that to each one of the sections. So now what you want to do is you want to take that one piece right there and you want to get that right out the way, because that's the piece that we're going to be using to leave out. And I'll get more into detail towards the end of the video. So as you take a piece out, you have to add another piece of braiding hair in, just so each section of the braid will be equal. And that way, your braid won't be, one side is skinny, one side is, thick. And then I just like to make sure I take my client's hair and I'll just apply a lot of jam to it so that it can smooth out and so it will not peek through the braid at all. So I felt like one of my braids was like a little too thick and one was too skinny, so I took a little piece from one section and added it to the section that felt a little thin. And so I just like to take and I just like to braid a little bit past the hair, and then I'll leave the rest of the hair out. And again, that's the section that we are going to leave out. So now guys, I just picked up those sections that I'm leaving out, and I'm just making sure that it's detangled and prepped and ready so that I can braid them all together to get them set for the mermaid look. This is very, very important right here. You have to make sure the hair is detangled. So I'm just taking this section right here, and you don't have to take as large as a section. I just took a section like this because I wasn't going to do many braids in my client's hair. But you want to just take all of this section and you want to braid it all together. Now right at the root, try not to braid it too tight because you don't want, to hurt the client's hair or your hair. And then as you come down a bit, that's when you start braiding the hair close up on each other and kind of tight. Because next I'm going to dip it in some hot water. And this part is crucial as well. You have to braid the braids close up on each other, if that makes sense. And you have to braid them a little tight, because the tighter you braid, the more crinkly the hair will come out. And then even if I was to split this section in half, if I you know, the smaller the section, the tighter the curls. The bigger the section, the bigger the curls. So now I'm at the end, and I just took a rubber band and I placed it on the tip. And you do want to go ahead and snip that part off, because when you go to dip it inside the hot water, you'll have a nice uniform look at the bottom of your braids instead of it looking really like stringy. So I'm just going to show you guys one more time. And I apologize, guys, if you can't see exactly what I'm doing. I'm trying to position myself as best as I can for you guys to see. I'm in an awkward position, but I'm trying to at least let you guys see as best I can. Again, so I just added a piece of the pre-stretched hair to each section of the braid. And now I am separating one piece of the braiding hair. Make sure you get all your client's hair out the way. That's another crucial thing you need to do. Get all your hair or your client's hair out the way, because if you leave that part out, then you're going to see the difference when, you know, at the end of the style. And then as you take a piece out, you add a piece in, just so that, again, all your sections could be nice and even with the same amount of density. Again, please make sure you do not leave any of your hair out, especially if your hair is natural, because once you dip it in the braid and dip it in the hot water and your hair hits the water, it will puff up, so you will see that. So just make sure you separate your hair, make sure you separate the pre-stretched braiding hair, and then, yep, everything should work out. Again, go right on ahead and detangle. Make sure you detangle and straighten out as much as you can before you set it in the braid. And again, make sure you braid down at least 2 inches past your hair or your client's hair, so that your hair won't be peeking through at the bottom either. So now I am all finished. I got all my sections braided up, and this is how it should look, guys. And now I'm just taking some hot water and I'm dipping the hair in the hot water. Be very, very careful. And make sure it's just dry, like really, really dry. It don't have to be 100% dry, because it takes braids a long time to dry. But just make sure it's dried with a paper towel very thoroughly. And so I just took the rubber band off the end, and this part right here, you really have to be very careful. As I'm taking out the braids, I'm not running my finger down and through the braid. I'm just opening the braid. You don't want to rub your fingers through the braid as you're taking it out, because then everything will get really, really, you know, messy, bushy, you know, and you don't want that. You want all the curls to be nice and defined. So I'm just taking and I'm just separating each of the braid and each of the part that I left out of the braid. And just make sure you take your time with this step right here. And you just want to continue throughout the rest of the hair. So guys, this is all that you need to do for these mermaid braids. Thank you so much for watching. My client is loving her hair.